Tamaki Makaurau, Auckland has a multicultural food scene like nowhere else in New Zealand. Over 200 different ethnic communities call Auckland home, and this makes for a diverse food scene. Over the next few weeks, we're taking you on a round-the-world food tour via Auckland's restaurants. In this video, we're hunting down some of the best spots for Cantonese food. We take you into the kitchen of one of Auckland's oldest Chinese restaurants, a local's favourite for yum cha, Cantonese brunch. We eat classic Hong Kong cafe fare and share our favourite restaurant for seal mei, Cantonese roast meats. These are Auckland's tastiest Cantonese eats. Hit subscribe and get ready for some mouth-watering food.
I'm Thomas.
And I'm Sheena, and we're chasing a plate.
We hope you're hungry. Let's eat.
I'm super pumped about this video because it's going to revolve around Cantonese food, the food that I grew up with. And Cantonese food is from the southern region of China in a region called Guangdong as well as Hong Kong. And this video is going to focus specifically on food that you'll find in Hong Kong, so unique local Hong Kong cuisine. And there are heaps, tons of Cantonese restaurants in Auckland, but like all our content, we want to show you the best. We're going to be eating local cafe food, so Hong Kong cafe food. We're going to take you to our favourite yum cha spot for Cantonese brunch. We're going to be eating seal mei or roast meats. So our first stop, we've come out to East Tamaki, which is out in East Auckland. It's quite an industrial suburb, and we're heading to Hungry Head Cafe. These guys do delicious cha tan tang food. So cha tan tang are Hong Kong cafes. So let's go and eat. Không biết mình có một杯燕dương
要定凍㗎？
熱唔該。
熱鴛鴦。
燕dương一個西多士。We put in our order, the food has arrived real quick and this place is jam-packed. There are queues out the door, lines of people waiting to get in, and it was really hard to make a decision because there's so many tasty dishes on the menu. So the first thing we ordered was this, which is beef brisket noodles. Oh, Saito. Thank you so much. And French toast, so this is Seidosi Hong Kong style. I've got a bottle of syrup here and we're just waiting on a drink. So this place specialises in food that you'll find in cha tan tang in Hong Kong, so local Hong Kong cafes, and the food is really unique. So this is our drink that we were waiting for. This is yuenyeung, which is half coffee, half milk tea.
I have eaten half of this French toast, realised I didn't have my microphone on so you couldn't hear a word I was saying, but this French toast is very good. So very typical of things you'll find in Hong Kong. White sweet bread, covered in egg, fried, it's full of peanut butter, and you get this syrup all over it, and it's a very thick syrup. It's almost like a golden syrup covered all over it. And then it's full of peanut butter, so you got saltiness and sweetness and a little bit of crunch, a little bit of softness. It is very, very good. And we've got this drink to go with it. So this is a tea and coffee mixture. So instant coffee is a Nescafe, so it's got a coffee and then it's got a little tea hit. It's milky, it's nice and sweet, goes perfectly with the French toast. They were a great combo to start us off and takes me right back to eating in Hong Kong.
I've gone for the beef brisket noodles, and there's a choice of noodles. So I went for the rice noodles. So a huge pile of rice noodles wallowing in this broth, and then quite a few bits of beef brisket. So epic fat to meat ratio. Slippery rice noodles and the beef brisket. It's not melt in your mouth, it still has a bit of chew. But I don't mind that, it's got so much flavour. The fat just explodes in your mouth as you bite into it. I want to get a taste of this soup. It's very clean tasting, but also has a powerful beefy hit, if I can call it that. Like Thomas said, this food takes me right back to Hong Kong, and both of my parents are from Hong Kong. So this is the food that I grew up eating, and this beef brisket noodles is damn delicious. We've come back into the central city for our next spot, and we're taking you to our regular yum cha restaurant. And yum cha is Cantonese brunch. It's one of my favourite Cantonese ways to dine. Essentially what it is, it's a meal where you snack on different plates of savoury and sweet treats, and you wash them down with copious amounts of tea. And this restaurant is a really special one. It's a family-owned restaurant, and it first opened in 1975, and it's our regular spot. We love to eat yum cha here, so let's go.
We've been lucky enough to come back into the kitchen before we start eating, so we can see all the dim sum being made. So we would be very remiss if we didn't have yum cha in this video, which is focusing on Cantonese cuisine. This is a staple of food in the region, and when you're in Hong Kong, you have to eat yum cha. And so it's made up of dim sum, and that all the dishes are collectively called dim sum. So they're all smaller dishes, often steamed. So that's all these bamboo baskets that you can see stacked all around the kitchen with all different dumplings and whatnot getting steamed. We've got rice noodle rolls here getting cooked over another style of steamer. Everything's made fresh here, so the dumplings are just getting wrapped right here, put straight into the steamers. It is super humid in here. It's a hive of activity. It's a really neat kitchen to be in. We're here just at the start of the rush for yum cha today, so things are really starting to heat up. I'm loving watching all the prep happening.
That kitchen was wild. The smell of all of that dim sum steaming was mouth-watering. Now we're about to order up a huge feast. So we've got our dim sum ordering sheet. Essentially the whole menu is on this sheet. You go through, you tick what you like, put your order through, and it comes out from the kitchen fresh from the steamer. So let's get ticking. Yum cha directly translates to drink tea, so we're going to be washing all our dim sum down with some Chinese pole tea, which is really bitter, quite a strong flavour. Awesome. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, hay à, phân sai lợ lại tắt là không có sai chê. Wow, char siu bao. The table is getting loaded up. We've got a ton of our dim sum already, and it's going to keep continuing to stack up. Ooh, hai gạo một cái sai. Wow, hang sai gạo. Okay. Our table is loaded up with dim sum, so I'm going to talk you around the table and show you what we've ordered. So at the front here we've got steamed barbecue pork buns. We've got some deep fried pork dumplings made with glutinous rice flour. One of my favourites, fong zao, which are chicken feet. They're deep fried, braised and then steamed. We've got some coriander and prawn dumplings. These here are wo gok, which are taro and pork dumplings. Yuenyeung bun, which we saw getting made in the kitchen, so rice noodle rolls filled with barbecue pork. The front here are siu mai, so pork and prawn dumplings. We've got ha gao, which are prawn dumplings, and then one sweet, these are deep fried sesame balls.
First up for me is the Tichang fan. So this is what we saw getting made in the kitchen with the very thin rice batter getting spread out on the very interesting style of steamer where the steam comes up through the cloth. Then the barbecue pork goes through the middle, wraps it up, cuts it into little slices. It's covered in this sweet soy sauce, so they pour it all over at the table so you can dip it in the sweet soy sauce. Oh. So silky. Oh, I love it. The pork's very tender as well, so the nice sweet pork, you got the sweet soy sauce, it's silky as that noodle on the outside, and I love it because it's basically one big giant noodle which gets rolled and cut up into little portions. That is one of my favorite dishes when we come to Yum Cha, and I think they do a very good version here at Pearl Garden. Another dish I love at Yum Cha is wukok, and this is a pork and taro ball, and it's got this sort of ethereal cloud-like poof on the outside. So you've got the pork and taro inside, the taro is on the outside, it's kind of like mashed potato texture, thinly diced pork in the middle, lovely flavors there, and then they have an egg and flour mix which they put on the outside and deep fry quickly to get this incredibly soft, puffy outer. Oh, that was good. The taro almost has a sweetness to it and a stickiness as well. So it's got a little lovely stickiness, and then that batter on the outside has such a beautiful texture. So think candy floss or fairy floss. It sort of dissolves in your mouth, except it does have a crunch as well because it's deep fried, so it crunches. And then you've got the pork in there to just add a beautiful flavor to the overall dish. That's a really good one too.
I'm heading for one of my favorite dim sum, and that is fong dao. So this is chicken feet. It's deep fried, braised in a marinade, and then steamed. I always reckon that the sauce that it's marinated in tastes a little bit like barbecue sauce. Thomas is making a funny face at me because I'm like spitting out the bones. It's not the most delicate thing to eat because essentially the chicken foot or chicken feet is made up of tons of skin, cartilage, bone. There's not much meat, so it's really like a suck and spit job. But like I said, the marinade is awesome, and these guys do a really good version. Garlic flavors, soy, like rice wine. Delicious. I'm gonna go for a seal my next, a Yum Cha staple. So we were watching the chef actually make these. So what it's made up of is a pork and prawn mixture in the middle, and then he folds the dumpling skin around the mixture. So I am going to dip mine in a bit of chili oil. Holy moly, that's good. I really love this dim sum. Bouncy, juicy prawns, and then that pork and prawn mixture, or pork and shrimp mixture, is a match made in heaven. It's delicious and great with that chili oil. I really love eating here at Pearl Garden. It's always busy. I love how the food comes fresh from the steamers, getting that food fresh from the kitchen, freshly steamed. And I suppose there's a little bit of family history wrapped up in this place, because my parents, when they first arrived in New Zealand in their 20s from Hong Kong, they worked with the family who owns Pearl Garden. And so every time we come and eat here, I'm sort of reminded of my family history of it. It's really neat. So this place, Pearl Garden, has been around since 1975. So it's one of the oldest Chinese restaurants in Auckland.
Now let's grab a ham so gok. So this is a glutinous rice flour. So this one's been cut. Well, this is another good thing about dim sum. They can cut the food for you so it goes a bit further. Actually, I must talk about the convivial, the joyous way you eat Yum Cha. It's the more people the better. It's round tables are often the thing, and the more people obviously the more dishes. But it's always all the food goes in the middle, and then you all just get to dive in and just chat. It's all about drinking tea, eating great food, and talking. This is another good one. Oh, it's so sticky, that glutinous rice. So it's a glutinous rice dumpling, pork in the middle, deep fried for a beautiful little thin, crispy outer, and then super sticky in the middle. But it is just awesome, sitting together, eating, and even with two people, you can get a great spread. But the more people, the merrier when you come to Yuenyeung. Oh, I'm loving it.
We've been chowing down on all the dim sum. Everything has been so fresh. One of my favorites was this prawn and coriander dumpling, stuffed full of prawn and fresh coriander. It had a really fragrant hit. But I'm going for sweets now. So this is a sesame ball. What it is a glutinous rice flour dumpling, essentially, coated in sesame seeds. And inside, I just want to break it apart and show you. Oh, so you've got this sticky dumpling, and then inside you have this oozy black sesame filling. That is brilliant. Sticky, sweet, but not too sweet, not over the top, and that hit of sesame seed flavour. It's really strong. This has been such a great yum cha spread, absolutely delicious and such a favourite of ours.
Our Cantonese feasting continues now with another staple that you will find in Hong Kong. This is meats on rice. Now this is sort of our dream meal. Whenever someone says, what do you feel like eating? This is always very near the top of the list. So we scour Auckland to find the best meats on rice. This place, Golden Garden Restaurant, is our pick of the bunch. So we're gonna get some heaping plates of meats on rice to show you the best in Auckland.
We come to Golden Garden for their roast meats. We love their roast pork, their soya chicken, and also their char siu, which is barbecue pork hanging down at the end here. So we've just popped our order in and we're about to eat.
My heaping plate of meats on rice has arrived. Now this is a very common lunch in Hong Kong, and it is something we absolutely love and have as much as we possibly can, and we love this place. You walk in, they've got the huge cabinet of meats, you start salivating because you just want to get in there, and I've gone with my favorites that they do. So I've got 3 meats on a heaping plate of rice. I got barbecue pork here, I've got some roast pork hiding on all sides, and I've got some chicken, some poached chicken, and that is just loaded up. I can't tell you how big this plate is. So the barbecue pork on top, that's barbecued in molasses, some spices. The roast pork, crispy skin on it. It's going to have a lovely layer of fat underneath, which will really pop in the mouth. And then I love their chicken. So the chicken is poached in soy sauce, and it is so tender and juicy, and you can see that beautiful color through the skin where the chicken's being cooked. And then it's got some ginger and spring onion sauce on top of that chicken, and it is all just loaded on this giant plate of rice. First things first, I'm going to grab some barbecue pork. So you can see thinly sliced. So he's got that awesome big board up the front. It's a big cleaver. Wax off slices of as they get ordered, and they get cut to order. Got all that rice underneath. Oh. Juicy, great amount of fat on the meat. Sweet, but not too crazy sweet. I love their balance they get here. in their roast pork. That bit's a bit small. Let's find a big bit of roast pork. So here's a big piece, heaps of skin on it. Oh, now I'm dropping it. Oh, the crunch. Oh. Just like I said, it's gonna have a crunch, and it had a mega crunch off the skin, which is all crackled up, golden as. Then the layer under that, the fat layer, just so juicy, so mega flavor coming out of that. And then you've got the actual meat under there too. So you've got all these sort of three very distinct textures going on in one bite. Nice and salty, so I love the seasoning on that. Oh, that is good roast pork. And now a piece of this chicken. So you can see that ginger and spring onion sauce just nicely spread over the top. Look at that lovely big piece of chicken. You can see just how juicy that's going to be and tender. Wow. That is so well poached, perfectly cooked. Often when we get meats on rice, we go for the duck. Because it's something a bit different and special. You don't find duck so much in restaurants. Chicken obviously is a much more common meat, and we don't normally order it when we get meats on rice. But here, we can't go past it. It's so perfect. These beautiful thighs, and the whole thighs sit there. When you order again, he just grabs that whole thigh and whacks it up with a cleaver, and it's special, very special. The flavor's perfect, the balance and the seasoning's very good. All of these meats are just phenomenally good. I mean, it's a great meal, and this is a perfect lunch. And I think sort of sums up this great day, because we've had the sort of the interesting items this morning, the toast, the beef noodles. They're quite a common breakfast foods. Then we went to yum cha, so Cantonese brunch, and now this is very much a staple lunch you'll find in Hong Kong. There's so much good Cantonese food here in Auckland, and we hope we've shown you, or you think we've shown you, some of the best, because we definitely believe this is some of the best Cantonese food you'll find in Auckland. If you've enjoyed the video, hit subscribe, hit that like button, drop us a comment, and thank you for watching.